Hey guys, we got a new myth manifest in the Isles of Echoes called Primitive Urge. We're gonna take a look at everything about it, what it does, what to play it with, etc, etc. And the Voyages of Volatility, they reset. We have 3 new stages and we're gonna go over all of these 3 stages in very quick succession. But now let's start off taking a look at the Primitive Urge. Let's take a look at what the Primitive Urge actually does by looking at its manifest skill. That says you consume all energon. It will always be 3, spoiler alert, to deploy the array Crimson Dreamscape for 2 rounds. What is Crimson Dreamscape? That is an array. Allied characters gain ultimate might plus 30%, and that's already all that matters. But on top of it, at the start of the round, at the start of the enemy's round, enemies get 1 debuff for 2 rounds. Enemies also get attack minus 5%, while the Primitive Urge gains an equivalent increase in attack. Cool. So for additional points of energon consumed, that doesn't matter, right? At the end of the extent of the array Crimson Dreamscape, so when it disappears, this Primitive Urge casts its ultimate called Into the Abyss. That is a mass attack. It deals 300 mental damage to all enemies, it consumes all energon, and with each point, yada yada, right? It doesn't matter because it will always be 3 points of energon anyways. Let's take a look at his insight real quick as well. So, passive number 1 is whenever you generate Moxie, you generate energon to be able to deploy this array. Then, while in this deployed array, after another ally casts a damage type ultimate, you cast a follow-up attack. This Primitive Urge casts a follow-up attack every time you are under the array and you cast an ultimate that deals damage. That follow-up attack it deals 100 mental damage and it inflicts -1 Moxie. That is very, very clutch. So keep that in mind. Also, after an ally casts an ultimate, you recover 10% of missing HP for all allies. Cool. The whole point is to get this array up as fast as possible and have it active at all times. To achieve that, we go to this skill tree, and you can now pause the video and or take a screenshot to copy exactly here what I did. I did take the node on the left hand side and the node on the right hand side. The key is the node on the left hand side, because what this does is ultimate might plus 20%. That's already all we want. We would be cool here, but it gets much, much better. Because you need 2 energon less. The array cooldown is reduced by 2 rounds. The array duration is also reduced by 1 round, but that doesn't matter because, yeah, we will accelerate it very, very fast anyways. This 1 round doesn't matter. And when the array ends, energon plus 1. So we only need 3, we already have 1, right? So this will be a walk in the park, and this is the node that makes it very, very consistent and very easy to keep the array up at all times, so that our ultimates always enjoy the maximum of ultimate might they could possibly enjoy. Then we have this node on the right hand side, which only adds up to our consistency even more, because now doing the array, if we use ultimates, we consume 1 Moxie less. That makes it so that we can accelerate our ultimates even faster, even quicker. We are always 1 round quicker. It saves us a whole turn, so that is absolutely wonderful. All you have to keep in mind is while you are on the way to unlock these nodes, you gain as much ultimate might as you possibly can. You can see here 6%, another 6%, and so on and so forth. And that's all about there is to say about the Primitive Urge. Of course, needless to say, I guess, is that you want to pair this with characters that excel at dealing their most amount of damage with their ultimates. Like a good example here would be Noah. But everything that deals damage with their ultimates works perfectly fine together with the Primitive Urge. And there we go. Let's now go and check out the new 3 battles from Voyages of Volatility real quick. We're gonna start off by looking at battle number 2, the one in the middle right here first, because this is the battle where the Primitive Urge actually comes in clutch. So, the enemies that you have here, they barely matter very much, because yeah, they turn themselves to stone, and when they break free from this stone, they get like they attack, and yada yada. It all doesn't really matter. A very good tip here is, yeah, first of all, you want to bring, of course, plant Afflatus type characters, because you enjoy the Afflatus advantage. You deal 40% more damage, in fact. And a good character to recommend would be Druvis, because these enemies, they turn themselves to stone already just by themselves. And if you now have a character that can turn them to stone as well, then you can cycle the duration that they are turned into stone much better. You can constantly turn them to stone. They will never break out of the stone to begin with, right? Ever. So that is very, very beneficial. But the most important part is that you bring plant Afflatus type characters that don't deal reality damage, because you can see here the enemies, when they take reality damage, they enjoy critical resist rate plus 50%. So bring plant type Afflatus characters that don't deal reality damage, and guess what? Noir comes in very, very clutch here, because that is a plant type Afflatus that deals mental damage. That is not reality damage, so perfect. You have to keep in mind here that the healing is reduced by 30%. It's not that big of a deal, right? But keep it in mind. And also, when entering battle and at the start of every 2 rounds, these enemies gain a stack of Thorny that will reflect damage that they take. So if you deal damage to them with a character, they will deal some damage back to you. And this increases the longer and longer this battle goes on. So keep that in mind. You cannot always go completely nuts with just one character, because you would kind of kill yourself. So distribute the damage output between all of your teammates, and yeah, you should be totally fine here. Again, if you have Noir, that is absolutely the perfect character here. But characters that can use Petrify also. Most importantly, bring plant type Afflatus characters that don't deal reality damage, and this will be a walk in the park. Now let's take a look at battle number 3 real quick. Here you want to bring characters from the Star Afflatus, and you have 4 different types of enemies. You always want to focus the boss called Hopeless Drifter, because focusing the other 3 ads doesn't make any sense, as they would respawn at the end of the round anyways, because the Hopeless Drifter, the boss, respawns them. And if at phase 2 he even spawns ads, like stronger ads than those, they are like then evolved versions, and they deal even more damage, yada yada, you know, you get the point. And that's really all about it. Focus the boss with everything that you have. There's again this ultimate thing. You want to use your ultimate on, yeah, everything you use goes onto the boss, so your ultimates already go on the boss anyways. But let me mention this here. He channels something, and this recovers his HP, and it grants him a whole bunch of Moxie. And this channel can be stopped by you using an ultimate on this guy. So yeah, make sure everything you possibly do always goes onto this Hopeless Drifter. Don't care about these ads whatsoever, and bring Star Afflatus characters. That's all about there is to say about this battle. It's easy. Yeah, they gain immunity for 1 round, right? You can get rid of it. Use a weak incantation to break the immunity, and then go nuts with your strong incantations, right? This is like needless to explain and very a walk in the park. Bring Star Afflatus characters, focus the boss, and you will be fine. Then battle number 1. Real quick, let me see. Yeah, you have two robots here, and this reflective soap bubble. Again, never focus these robots. This bubble will make it so that these robots spawn anyways. Now here, this is a little bit of an interesting mechanic, because let's read it. After being attacked, if own HP is below 90 or 70% HP, he recovers to max HP. And he gets 1 or 2 stacks, depending if its HP was at 90 or 70%, of Bursting Bubble and Ritual Boost. The Bursting Bubble debuff these stacks, that is what is important here, because you can see every time he gets a stack of Bursting Bubble, his ultimate damage taken is increased by plus 80%. And that's the gimmick of this fight. You want to constantly every single turn attack this reflective soap bubble so that its HP falls below 90% at least, preferably below 70%. And then he will get 1 or 2 stacks of bursting bubble every single round, and that will make it so that you deal more and more damage with your ultimates onto this guy, so that at some point you can kill this thing with just one ultimate that does a little bit of damage. And that's the point. Bring a character to this fight that has a high amount of burst damage with his ultimate. The character 6 is a very good example here. But yeah, any ultimate that works, that deals a lot of burst damage, works here. And yeah, again, keep attacking this guy and this guy only. He will gain stacks of this bursting bubble, and you will gain to a point that you can kill him with one ultimate, and there goes the battle. And that's all there is to say about it. I hope that was fun and informative. If you like Reverse1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.